Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and variations thereupon. It's Citizen7, and we're back playing Slay the Spire. I apologize for the last 2 episodes that we recorded. Apparently, even though I have my good microphone sitting here in front of me, the light on it is all lit up. My recording software decided to use the microphone from my web camera, which obviously sounds absolutely horrible because it's much farther away from my face. It's a lower quality microphone. It picks up all of the room ambience. Anyway, so hopefully this episode will be somewhat of a higher quality for you, more like the first episode. So we're going to go ahead and continue our run. And here we are again. We have our choice to make whether we're going to do the rest or do the smithing, and I still think taking the high risk, high reward play is going to be the most fun. So let's jump right back in. This enemy is malleable, so that is he is going to attack 7 times 3. On taking damage, he gains 3 block. Block increases as malleable is trigger resets to 3 at the start of your turn. So each time that we hit it, he's going to gain more armor, and then it goes back to 3 later on. So this opening hand, though, this opening hand is absolutely astonishing. Because we got our armaments just like we hoped in our opening hand. We get to upgrade everything, get an upgraded Inflame, and I think we're going to play armaments, Inflame. We only have 3, so we can play armaments, Inflame, and Rage or Infernal Blade. There's no way that we can actually get Clash to trigger, but we are playing armaments for sure. And now we're going to play our Inflame. So we've gotten a fair mite stronger. Oh, actually, because Infernal Blade is upgraded, it costs 0. So we can play Rage. We can play Infernal Blade. And we get Reaper. Deals 7 damage to all enemies. Heals for unblocked damage dealt. So currently he doesn't have armor, so it's going to heal us for 7 damage and give us 6 block. That's excellent, and then we can use Clash Plus. So that is definitely the order that we want to attack in, so that we get the most healing before he gains armor from Malleable. And then, okay, so he gained, it looked like, yeah, we did the damage beforehand, so now this is going to give him 4 armor, but still, that's what we want to do. And that was a good turn. Now we've got 17, so of the 21 coming in, we can survive that pretty well. And we didn't get to use our bash, but my goodness, what an astonishing start. And that basically proves to me, so there we go, our self-forming clay has given us a little bit of armor. That really proves to me that we made the right choice in going all in on our card strategy instead of just trying to regain hit points. So I think he's going to do the same attack again. Our best choice is first to shrug it off, to gain our block and draw a card. Now, we got Whirlwind, so we could deal 8 damage to him twice. But it's on taking attack damage, he gains 3 blocks. So this would actually, he'll gain 7 block if we do 8 damage to him twice. And so, basically one of the times that the Whirlwind goes around will just be negated. That seems a little useless to me. I think instead let's play defend, and then headbutt to put armaments plus back on top of the deck. So we'll draw that next turn, and some number of unupgraded cards, most likely, unless we draw uppercut. But let's do it that way. So incrementally making our deck better every time we play armaments. Definitely really good. And already, you know, we're still, even though we've taken hits twice, we are still in a better position than we started. So armaments, we're going to gain the block, upgrade all of these. We'll be able to draw 4 cards. And we do have 4 energy this turn. So let's see what we can do. We'll upgrade first, draw second, only because this is going to give us 1 extra draw. Alright, so let's draw. Now we have 3. We could play Perfected Strike for 27 damage. And then 10 damage twice? Is that enough to kill him? Theoretically, that's 47 damage, but he's going to, because it's 3 strikes, he's going to gain 3, 4, and 5. So he's going to gain 12 armor. I think, on taking, gain 3 block. If I'm reading that right, and he's going to use a powerful negative effect on us, that means it's going to be permanent, probably weaken and strength down. Let's go ahead and do Perfected Strike first, and then Twin Strike. I think if the order in which he gains the armor is correct, we might actually finish him off with that. Yes. All right. So because he gains the armor after the attack, my initial math on how much armor he was going to gain was incorrect, and we were able to do that kill. So let's see. What do we have? Power through. Add 2 wounds to your hand. Gain 15 block. $15 block is a lot, but 2 unplayable cards is kind of terrible. I'm sure there are instances in which this is good, but we've not really been building on block. We've been building on striking. So let's take Twin Strike, which is going to be on its own a good card, and it's going to combo with our Perfected Strikes to make everything much better. And we're almost at 30 cards now. We've got a treasure, and we're already, you know, at more hit points than we were when we made the choice to not rest. Runic Dodecahedron. If your hit point is full, which it's not, gain energy at the start of each turn. Well, that's going to be really useless to us for a while, but it will start helping us out after we beat the boss and get our, you know, hit points restored to full. So let's go ahead and go enemy, enemy, and then we'll make a choice whether we want to enemy rest or we could enemy shop. Question. I think that's what we want to do. Enemy, enemy, shop, question, rest. Because we want to get that shop in there before we hit the boss. Because we've got a decent amount of gold to spend. Alright, so we've seen these enemies, this combination of enemies before. We've got the Shelled Parasite and the Slaver. Taking out the Slaver, definitely a good option. Now let's see. we've got skill, which will turn into an attack, and we've got skill battle trance, which will draw us 3 cards. Let's draw first and see if we draw only attacks, we'll be able to activate our clash. If we draw, you know, 1 skill, it depends. If we draw all skills, well, not so great. All right, so we drew one skill. So I think our turn here is Inflame, Defend, Infernal Blade, which will give us a free attack, and then Clash will be active. And that is definitely will do us, I think, the most damage that we can do, depending on what we get off of Infernal Blade. Let's check Infernal Blade first. Blood for blood. Alright, costs 1 less energy for each time you lose hit points in combat. Deal 16 damage. Alright. We'll get our power. 1, 2. Only 2. We won't be able to trigger the Shuriken. And we're only going to get 5 block. We've got a lot of damage coming in, but we're going to deal 18... 18 and 16. Not nearly enough to take out the Slaver. I think we're just going to have to brace for some big hits and go all in on this Slaver and then see what happens. That's how I feel about that. I think that we should be able to kill him next turn, and then at least we'll only have 1 enemy to focus on, but this turn is going to hurt a lot. Now, we are going to gain 6 armor, so that's excellent. We've got armaments here, and I think we need to play it. We can twin strike this guy to death, but let's play armaments and get that twin strike upgraded. Let's see. Now, if only if only that was 12, we could strike to kill him and defend, but we're gonna have to take the 12 damage. Oh, but we have 11 armor, so that's gonna be all right. Let's kill the Slaver. Yeah, and we still we could defend, but taking 1 damage I think is okay. Putting the 22 damage because of the pen nib onto this guy is going to be good. Now, it would have been great if we could have used the pen nib on our other, yes, but it just didn't work out that way. So we'll smack off his shell. We'll take 1, and we don't actually get to trigger our shuriken, but at least our clay does activate again. And now if we play defend, we'll activate our clash, and we can use perfected strike. So I think that's going to be our play here. Taking 2, we can take 2. Getting him fairly low, and now he'll only gain oh wait, we have one more. All right, and that activates our shuriken. So the shuriken just activated now, so the order that we played those in actually didn't matter, but I need to be careful to keep track of my energy, since I seem to be making a few mistakes on the map. Now, the question is, can we use feed to deal the final blow here? And that looks like no. This will deal 24, and he's currently at 33. He's going to try and hit for 12. So I think playing Rage, strike, defend, and then tossing Whirlwind for the free armor is going to be a good turn. Playing it a little slow. We weren't able to actually, doing that strike didn't actually do anything because we didn't break through his armor. But it did give us, you know, the armor from the rage. At least we won't take any damage this turn. Not a very effective turn, and I didn't check what we were going to draw next turn, but it didn't matter too highly. Our health is quite low though, so let's use uppercut to weaken him, and then we'll shrug it off. And we have an anger, so we'll use that as well. So anger now is going to deal 10 damage to him, giving us an extra anger. Now, we could take 7 damage to trigger the shuriken one time, or we could shrug it off. Triggering the shuriken here is not as important as not taking this damage, because we can definitely kill him through 15 damage, but we don't want to be put in such a vulnerable place. Oh, and here's armaments. Sad that we have to toss that, but here at the end of combat, it doesn't really matter. Defend, defend, clash, clash. And twin strikes. We didn't even need the clashes. Alright, so a fire potion, deal 20 damage. That's good. That'll help us lethal somebody. And what do we have? Flame barrier. Gain 12 block. Whenever you attack this turn, deal 4 damage to the attacker. That's good. Intimidate. Apply 1 week to all enemies. Exhaust. Or Flex Plus. Gain 4 strength for 1 turn. And this will be our 30th card. So honestly, Flame Barrier seems good in a deck that has tech to be really tanky, and since we did start out all out on that idea of let's be as strong as possible and do as much damage as fast as possible, we're not set up to be able to make good use of this. Plus the 2 energy is a little prohibitive. Let's take Flex Plus specifically to give us that maybe that burst potential to hit a lethal. And we'll go up against Snecko here. So our opening has got Bash. We have 2 skills to activate our Clash, and only 3 energy. So we could use Bash, which we haven't actually played Bash in a long time. He's going to inflict a powerful negative effect on us. So, but we have 2 clashes. I'm trying to decide if it's worth gaining this armor for no reason in order to use 2 clashes. I think it is, because that's 28 damage, plus we get to trigger Anger, which gives us a Shuriken proc, and then Twin Strike. So even though, yeah, we're wasting this block, now the tricky thing is, if we draw a skill off of this, it won't work. So we have to do this first. That will determine whether we play defend or not. Twin Strike. Okay, lucky us. Alright, so we can go all in on this. So now our clashes are online. So we're going to Clash, Clash, Anger. And our Shuriken is procced, so now our Twin Strike deals 6 damage twice. So, you know, about half his health in one go. I'd say that's a reasonable turn for wasting 16 block. Now, you know, if we had that card that let us deal damage according to our armor, you know, that could be really good. So I can definitely see a lot of good builds to... Oh, what happened here? Alright, confusion. Whenever you draw a card, randomize its cost. And does that just stays there, I guess. So this strike costs 2, this defend costs 3, that's garbage, and these all cost their regular amount. He's gonna inflict a negative effect on us and attack for 8 damage. And this doesn't look like it's going anywhere. So, but let's use Uppercut Plus and shrug it off. We'll use the principle of drawing first. See what we get. Whirlwind. So we could do, yeah, that's not going to be good in this. And Whirlwind is, I don't think, usually going to be very good against single target enemies. Sometimes it's, you know, good to be able to toss it just for procs. In fact, we are going to do that here just to increase our pen nib. And next turn, we will have 4 energy, so... Now, we're the vulnerable one, but we didn't take the damage, so... Holy shit, headbutt at 3. That's so bad. But here we've got a free strike, and we do have 4. Battle Trance, though, costs 2, and I don't know if it's worth drawing for 2. But we have this potion to deal 20 damage, so let's consider. We can do 7, and 7 is... we can do 21, because we've got 3 7s, and we can afford that. 21 and 20, still not... Oh wait, he's vulnerable. It will be more than that, so yeah, we can kill him. Let's kill him. Let's kill him this turn. It's worth using the potion to not drag this on. Throw. Alright, and we get a new potion, an energy potion, and we get to add a card to our deck. Power cards. Alright, this card applies a power to you when used. Powers are passive abilities. We know that already. Alright, so we have Feel No Pain Plus. Whenever a card is exhausted, gain 6 block. That's kind of useless to us because we haven't been exhausting things. Then we've got Disarm Plus. Enemy loses 3 strength. Exhaust. That... It is quite powerful because the 3 strength debuff is permanent. It doesn't go away after a few turns. Or Warcry Plus, draw 2 cards, place a card from your hand on top of your draw pile. Exhaust. And we're at 30 cards. We could take Disarm. But honestly, none of these cards go well with our strategy, so I think we're going to choose to take no cards this turn. Just click on them to pick them up. Yeah, we want to skip it. Alright, we're going to... right, we're not going to take the question mark because we want the shop, so we're going to fight. And we've got new enemies here. We haven't seen these yet. We have a Centurion and a Mystic. He's going to attack. She's going to buff. Let's see. We've got 3. Let's start out with Inflame and Bash to and take 12. Ooh. It's really we've reached the point where it's hurting us a lot to take this damage. So let's I don't think that we can play Bash, and it's frustrating that this is the card we've chosen to always have in our beginning hand, and we haven't been able to play it in so long. But we are going to Inflame, absolutely. We're going to play Infernal Blade, and we get the Sword Boomerang, deal 5 damage to a random enemy 3 times. So that'll do some damage around there. We're going to play Shrug It Off. And we drew anger, so that's cool. So let's boomerang. So it was to him. It wasn't necessarily. It was a random enemy, but it didn't seem to randomize between the enemies. So we'll go ahead and put the anger right towards the same guy. So next turn we've got our pen nib ready to go. We're only going to take 1 damage this turn, and that's not so bad. Yeah, we don't want to toss Whirlwind because pen nib is ready to proc, even though we would get us a Shuriken proc, which is, you know, a permanent increase. The double damage is going to be significant, especially if we drop Perfected Strike. Alright, so the Mystic buffed them both. He intends to block. She intends to buff again, and that's problematic. Now, we can play Defend, and then we have Clash active for 32 or 14 damage twice. Yeah, that's very powerful. All right, we're gonna defend. We're gonna deal. Yeah, we should be able to feed this turn. So we'll block. We'll deal 32. We'll deal 14, which will put him in feed range, and then we will feed. So we increased our max hit points, and we triggered the Shuriken, so the Mystic is just going to buff again, and, you know, eventually I'm sure... Oh! It healed itself. So now it's going to try to attack us and put a negative effect. We have Perfected Strike, and we have 4 energy. So let's play Armaments first, and then we'll Battle Trance. So let's draw our 4 cards. Or, hang on, 39 and 10 twice. They're not weakened. This is free, so we're gonna draw. Yeah, there's no harm in drawing, because you know, the Clash actually doesn't help us. But if we had drawn Anger, we could have played that. I don't know that Anger is currently in the deck. No, but if we had drawn Flex, if we had drawn Flex, that would have given us the lethal. So we've got 5. We'll take 5, but we'll do max damage here. Ah! I mathed incorrectly, and we killed her anyway. So let's see, what do we have? Bloodletting, gained 2 energy, lose 3 hit points. Because we don't have a lot of healing and our hit points have been in a sort of precarious state, I don't think that's a good choice for us. Combust. At the end of your turn, it's a power. Lose 1 hit point and deal 4 damage to all enemies. Again, I don't think it's good. And Sword Boomerang, deal 3 damage to a random enemy 3 times. I've rejected this card before. I'm going to reject it again. We're going to stay at 30 cards, and we're not going to take any of these. So that's twice that we're going to skip. And now we're going to go to the shop. Now, hopefully here, we can find something good, and we can probably cull a card out of us. So let's see. Whenever you apply a debuff to an enemy, they take 3 damage. That's nice. Bandage up, heal 4 hit points and exhaust for no cost. Another twin strike for very cheap. We're absolutely going to take this. Now here's Rupture. Whenever you lose hit points from a card, gain 1 strength. So that's the sort of thing that would definitely combo strongly with something like Offering. But, we don't need that right now. Let's see, what do we have? Whenever you obtain a curse, increase your max hit points by 6. That's, cool. But we're not looking to obtain any curses right now. Bag of Marbles. At the start of each combat, apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies. So at the start, they're going to be off balance. That seems huge. And Mummified Hand. Whenever you play a power, a random card in your hand costs 0 for the turn. how many powers do we have? Just the one? Yeah, only the one. Alright, so let's buy the bag of marbles. That seems incredible. And let's remove some cards from our deck, thin it out a little bit so that we get better draws. Honestly, Rage has been good for us. Have there been any cards that have come up that have always been bad? Not really. There have been a lot of times where we haven't been able to play the cards that we wanted to, but even the Whirlwind has been good because of our, sometimes we get to just throw it for free to do things. Whirlwind is not hurting us, but we're going to get rid of some of these basic defends because those are definitely weak cards in our deck right now, and I'd rather be able to draw Shrug It Off than defend. So we're gonna remove one defend, and he's sold out, so we can only do that one time. Now we could buy Flame Barrier. We could. I think we're gonna buy Bandage Up because it's a free healing of 4. This is just going to be strictly good whenever we get it. And yeah, it only happens one time, but if we draw it, that's an extra 4 hit points that we can gain through each fight. I think that's going to be strictly good for us. So that's our gold used well. We've got a question mark up next, then a rest, and the boss. So let's see, what's our unknown? Before you lies an elaborate shrine to a forgotten spirit. Pray, transform a card. Alright, let's try to change one of our defense into something better. Alright, so it's going randomly through this, and we just we have to Wheel of Fortune it. Here we go. Another armaments. So strictly better. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. That was good. Alright, so let's rest. And going into the boss, I think we're going to need the hit points. As much as I would love to upgrade a card right now, I think that, well, let's consider. If we update Shrug It Off to, what, Bandage, heal 6, okay. Perfected Strike, when it goes up, it's an additional 3 for all strikes. So those are really powerful to upgrade, obviously. The thing is, we don't, like, if we upgraded Shrug It Off or Armaments, that would really do well for us. We know without doubt that would do well for us, but at half hit points, you know, we've been living dangerously all this time. I think we're gonna upgrade our Armaments card, because these Armaments Plus have very, very powerful effects on our battles. And I think that this is going to do us more than just getting a little bit of raw hit points. This is going to make us stronger permanently, and I think that that's what we want to do. So let's keep living dangerously and jump right in. 1 second. Time for the boss. Does our huge gamble pay off? And I think we're going to plan to use our dexterity potion. Now, who do we have? The champ. 420, the champ. Alright, so he's vulnerable on the first hit. He's going to do 15 to us. We've got Armaments Plus in our opening hand. I love it. We've got 3 energy right now. Let's play Armaments. And our Anger, we want to play, and we want to play, I think we want to play the Bash. We're gonna take 10 damage. That's a lot of damage. Tell you what, we're gonna Bash, because this is really holding back our resources right now doesn't make any sense. This is it. This is all or nothing. If we lose, we're dead. This is a roguelike game. So if we lose, it's it. If we beat this guy, our hit points go back to maximum. So we're gonna, and we get, you know, a whole bunch of rewards. So we're gonna drink the dexterity potion. And we're gonna drink the energy potion. Now we're gonna play defend to gain 10 block. So now we'll take no damage. We're gonna hit him with a twin strike to do another 20 to him, and we're gonna hit him with the anger. Putting another anger in, triggering our shuriken, making everything stronger for us the rest of the time. You know, I think that's a good first turn. Alright, so we have Armaments again. Gain 7 block, upgrade all cards. We've got 3 and 2 attacks until we hit Nib. He is going to block and use a buff. Now, if we use Armaments here, our Infernal Blade will go up. Will cost 0, so we'll be able to play Strike and Shrug It Off. We don't really want to Shrug It Off, just because the block isn't going to do us any good this turn. But the draw might. What could we draw that would be good for us? Flex. Flex would be good. Bandage would be good. Clash. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to Shrug It Off first to get the draw before we Armaments, because the block doesn't actually matter this turn. The draw might, depending on what we get. So we drew Clash. Skill. So yeah, Clash matters. We will activate it. We will be able to play it. So let's Armaments. Now we can play Infernal Blade. We have another Perfected Strike for 0. That's amazing. This is going to do 46 damage to him. And we've got our regular strike and then our Clash. So Shuriken, we've done no attacks so far. But the nib is going to go off. We want the nib to go off on Perfected Strike. That's going to do the most damage. So we're going to strike and then Clash. Order matters here. See, our nib, 62. That's what we want to see. And we triggered the Shuriken again. So that turn played out quite well. Yes, do we waste this armor? Yeah, we do. But who cares? So he now gains 5 block at the end of his turn. He's going to hit us and do for 10 and do a negative effect. But he continues to take a little more damage. So we have 4 energy this turn. We have our Inflame ready to go. And I think now is the time to play it. And then we're going to uppercut him. Do we want to Rage, or do we want to Twin Strike? Or we could Headbutt to control our draw. What do we want to draw next turn? We could draw Armaments. It's very good. Or we could draw Perfected Strike. Alright, let's Inflame right away to increase our damage. Now, I think we actually do want to play uppercut because it's going to do 25 damage to him, it's going to increase his stacks of vulnerable, and it's going to reduce the damage that he's doing to us. And then we can twin strike him. So the question is, do we want to rage to gain block by playing uppercut? Or do we want to deal more damage to him? And I think the answer is we want to deal more damage because getting him low gets us closer to the end of the battle, at which point we're going to heal to full. So gaining a little bit of block now to deal this, to, you know, cancel this small attack, not strategic. Dealing a lot of damage, definitely a good choice. We can take 7. Face slap. Ah. Alright, so now we're gaining less block for 2 turns, which is negated by the dexterity, I believe. Or no, the dexterity just increases it straight up by 2, and then this is 25% less. So yeah, this is now 9 instead of 11. And it should be more according to our dexterity bonus, but we have our 4 strength right now, and he's vulnerable, so these are gonna deal, I think, 15, yeah, 15 each, and this is gonna do 13 twice, so 23. We've got 2 twin strikes. What is he going to do next turn? He's going to buff. So us playing Shrug It Off, yeah, it draws a card. What do we have left? Clash, Flex, Perfected Strike, Banish. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play Shrug It Off to draw a card, and then we're going to Battle Trance. And the reason that we're going to do it in that order is because this stops us from drawing any additional cards. I don't think it will stop Shrug It Off from working, but I want to draw the card from Shrug It Off, and then Battle Trance, and maybe we get to play Clash. You know, maybe we just get Defend, but let's see. Alright, Shrug It Off first. So we drew a strike, so now we're going to draw 3 out of here, and 1, 2 are skills, 3 are skills, only one of which is going to cost us to play. So it's possible we just draw all 3 skills, but it's also possible, you know, we draw attacks. So let's Battle Trance. Alright, so we got all attacks. We have 2 energy left. We could do Perfected Strike to deal 51 damage to him. And then Clash and throw on a Whirlwind just for the Shuriken proc. That would be 34 and 18 and 0. Or we could Twin Strike twice and then Clash. Or hang on. If we Twin Strike twice, that's 23, or no, 13 twice, so that's 26, 26 twice, better than Perfected Strike. And we can do Twin Strike, toss the Whirlwind to proc the Shuriken, and then Clash. That's going to be our high damage. So let's Twin Strike again, toss the Whirlwind, proc the Shuriken, and then Clash. Now he's going to gain his 5 block, but then he's going to buff himself. Our block doesn't actually matter right now. Next turn, we know we're going to draw our Bandage and our Flex. Perfected Strike, and one other card. Ooh. Uh-oh. Alright, so he just removed all of his buffs, really got himself super more powerful, and now he's going to hit us for 19 3 times. I don't know if we can, what we can do about this. I don't know if we can survive this. Flex is going to give us 4 strength, putting us to +9. This is going to give us 4 hit points, putting us to 36. We have 1 defend, and Perfected Strike will deal some damage. Anger will deal some damage. And we have nothing in hand. Game 5. Holy shit. Well, I think this is the end. So we just we play out our hand, and that's that. Here's our flex. We are gonna bandage just because. And execute. Yep. Well, that was that. There was you know, it just came to an end. I guess that us not taking that extra 30 hit points from resting came down to being the thing that defeated us. So there you have it. That's our first run. We got a score of 309, not huge. We climbed 33 floors. We killed 14 enemies, so they're obviously worth 2 points each. We killed 2 Exordium elites, 1 city elite, 1 boss, and have 4 copies of any non-starter cards. So yeah, we've hit 1 unlock. Let's see what the unlock is. Cards unlocked. Unlocked cards show up in future runs. So all of these have unlocked now. We've got Heavy Blade, deal 14 damage, strength affects Heavy Blade 3 times. That's really, really good. Oh wow, that's cool. Spot weakness. If an enemy intends to attack, gain 3 strength. That's cool. And limit break, double your strength. Exhaust. Talk about some synergy here. So we've unlocked new cards for our we've unlocked new cards, and we've also unlocked a new character. So there you have it. Our first run of Slay the Spire is completed, and the Spire has slain us. So I'm having a blast with this game. I'm definitely going to play another run, and I'm not gonna jump into the secondary character yet. We're gonna go ahead and play a little bit more of our heavy swordsman and see what we can accomplish. So if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like, you know, the standard YouTube stuff. Subscribe to the channel because I will be playing a little bit more Slay the Spire, and cheers. Thanks for watching.